Hello, my name is Red Hamilton. My real name is John Hamilton. But people who know me call me Red. Is there a Minnie Schultz out there? What about Herbert van Valkenburg? No? Well, that's too bad. I just wanted to thank them for their automobile. They were filling up at a gas station outside of Michigan City, Indiana, when a few of us inmates from the state prison were in need of a car in an awful hurry. Hope they made it back to Oswego okay. I was doing 25 years for robbing a bank in South Bend, Indiana. That's how I got to become friends with John Dillinger, and Homer Van Meter, and Harry Pierpont. We were all working together in the prison shirt factory. When Dillinger got out on parole, he promised he'd get the rest of us out, if he could find a way. And he was as good as his word. He tracked down the company that supplied the thread to the prison shirt factory, and using some money he got in a bank heist, he bribed a foreman to bring guns into the prison shirt factory. Our plan, once we got out of prison, was to connect back up on the outside. But 4 days before we made our escape, he got himself arrested for a string of bank robberies, and he was stuck playing cards in the Lima, Ohio jail. Now it was our turn to repay him a favor. We drove to Lima, went into the sheriff's office, and pretended to be officers who were going to take John back to Michigan City. It looked like the chump was going to fall for it. But then he asked us to show our credentials. So Pierpont shot him dead. The next day, our pictures were plastered all over the front page of every newspaper in the country. The FBI had a nationwide manhunt for us. We lived like hunted animals, always on the run, always afraid someone was going to recognize us and turn us in. When we needed money, we robbed banks. When we needed more guns, we robbed police stations. No, not even the police could catch the Dillinger gang. Just before Christmas, I was picking up my girlfriend's car in Chicago when this cop came out of nowhere and pulled a gun on me. I had to shoot him or he was gonna shoot me. I saw in the Tribune where he was some kind of hero or something. He left a couple of young kids. I got 2 boys myself, so I was real sorry I had to shoot him. Dillinger always joked that couldn't walk out of a bank without taking some lead. In the following months, I lost another finger off my right hand, took 4 bullets to the leg, and was wounded in the shoulder. Time and my luck were running out. The gang decided to lay low for a few days at this resort in northern Wisconsin called the Bohemia Lodge. George Babyface Nelson and his wife had a cabin, and the rest of us had rooms on the 2nd floor of the lodge itself. We were just enjoying the rest, relaxing, and playing cards. Commotion broke out the evening we were supposed to leave. We heard all the dogs barking. And then, boom, 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 the sounds of gunfire. It was the FBI. I raced down the back steps and flew out of the lodge. Down by the lake, I met up with Dillinger and Van Meter. We jumped into a Packard from one of the guest cabins and made our way to St. Paul. News of the shootout traveled faster than we did. Every cop in Minnesota was on the lookout. We drove around the back roads until the following afternoon. By then, we were so exhausted we couldn't see straight anymore. We pulled the car over to the shoulder of a deserted road to catch an hour or 2 of sleep. I slumped down in the back seat and I was out like a light. But there was no rest. The sweet stillness was broken by the crack of shots in the distance. An intense, excruciating pain registered in my back at the very same instant. I slumped forward. I'm hit! I'm hit! Dillinger smashed out the back window and traded rounds with a police car nearly a quarter-mile away. After showering us with 30-40 rounds, they quickly did a U-turn and left, probably going off to get more reinforcement. With our car all full of bullet holes and me bleeding all over the back seat, we needed a less recognizable car. Van Meter hijacked a 1934 Ford V8 and took off towards Chicago to find a doctor who could help. Late that night, They took me into a restaurant owned by one of the Capone mob. I was laid out on a bar in a saloon in the back room, but no doctor would come. We were too hot to handle. Even the mob didn't want us around. Van Meter and Dillinger got me back into the car and we drove some more. I was pretty out of it, but I think they headed to a doc who lived off a creek in Oswego somewhere. That's the last thing I remember. More than a year later, in August of 1934, FBI agents, acting on a tip, dug up a red-headed corpse from a shallow grave on Gus Shoger's farm off of Route 25 in Oswego. They identified me by my dental records. I bid you good night, Oswego land.